Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Richard, and so today I wanted to talk about the last video on why I made it, and the introduction video or whatever. Yeah, so why I made it, and and on the few a touch up on the few things I've said in the video. So the first why I made that video. So the day I made that video, I was I was not having a great time. I was a little bit fed up with everything. I've just picked up a car from garage after water pump replacement, which kind of blew up on me on my way to work, and so that happened, and everything that happened prior to that as well, because by that point I had car like 3-4 months, and I just kept having issues with it, and I was fed up, taking car in and out of specialists and all that, and I was just kind of fed up with it. And I think from the first 3 months of ownership, I think half the time car spent in garages, and I'm just fed up with everything. So I just pulled over and made that video, basically. Hence, that's the reason for that video. And so I've said few things in there, and I thought maybe I was a little bit harsh, but I did have a point, and I think, few points, and I think they were right. They were not wrong. It's just I was a bit harsh. So the first one was when I said that the Porsche seems to be in this bubble, and you're not allowed to talk about the bad things, only the good things. What did I mean by that? So when you meet fellow Porsche owners, and when you speak to them, and not everyone obviously, but some of them will say, when you speak to them, they will say the Porsche is the perfect sports car for every day, and you can do 100,000 miles without being, any worries, there's all this thing, people say that for years. You always, I always heard that people say that, and I found that not to be true at all. Not only with my Porsche, with other fellow Porsche owners as well. They have, everyone seems to have issues. Yeah, so sorry, I should have said at the beginning of the video. Mine is Porsche Cayman S 987.1 Cayman S. So this is what I have, and yeah, so from early 90s to mid 2000s or late 2000s, whatever, these are the ones that are really prone to reliability issues. And there were few people saying that, but Porsche was going through hard times then, and so they had to cut costs everywhere, and I understand that completely, and I get that, and they did that with 996 and 986.1, and dot 2 they kind of improved a little bit. Yeah, but so here's the thing. By the time they ended production on 996 and 986, they made a ton of money, and they didn't have the problems anymore, because by that time they released the Cayman as well, which was a great success. And so they were not a company that was in trouble anymore. They were making very good profits, and you would expect that to reflect the next generation, but he kind of didn't. They improved a few things there and there, specifically design and engineering. They have improved it on that a lot. But then the execution, it was no better really than all the previous one, the 996 and 986. It was still extremely unreliable. The engines were still not, issues were not resolved, and yeah, so when you talk about these issues about the early cars, like late 90s to early 2000s, for that. So when you speak to people about the fellow Porsche owners about the reliability issues of early 2000s or late 90s to early to mid 2000s cars, they really don't like it when you mention reliability issues, and it just makes me laugh. Sorry, but that's what they were. They were just bad cars. They were not well made. They were designed brilliantly, every single one of them. 996, 997, all of them. The design was perfect, amazing, but great. But the execution, that was the terrible thing. The cost cutting everywhere. I wish they haven't done that, and that's what I meant by that. So yeah, so my experience is not reliable at all. So yeah, there's touch on the second thing I said. So when I said that you know, if I wish I knew a few things, and maybe I would have done it differently, and before I bought the car, and yeah, that's true. I have. What did I mean by that is, I wish I actually knew how big of a issue the boss scoring actually is, and I didn't, because when you read up online, they say, oh, it's exaggerated, it's not a big issue, and you shouldn't worry about it, and that's just simply not true. The first thing you should do, I think, you know, if I could give any advice to future Porsche owners, if you're thinking of buying a Porsche, today, and if any advice I could give you, the best advice would be get a PPI. PPI is pre-purchase inspection, and I think that's vital. And yes, before I bought it, I have tried to do the pre-purchase inspection, but the reason I didn't do it was because it was an early spring, so all the independent Porsche specialists, they were really busy, and every single time the one I contacted, they were fully booked up for 2-3 months up front. Some of them were 2-3 weeks, but anyway, so I just couldn't do pre-purchase inspection even if I wanted to. And but what I've done instead, I have spoken with the owner of an independent specialist who looked after this car since 2016, and he told me everything he'd done to it and all, you know, what they've changed and all this, and you know, that gave me a lot of confidence in buying the car. And yes, everything they've done, it's been great, but all the other issues came up, and everything, you know, yeah, so everything ended up going bad basically, and everything else ended up, you know, breaking down on me. Yeah, so, and then I want to tell you what I want to go with this channel. So the next video I want to make will be about the exhaust, because yes, my exhaust actually was disintegrating and I had to replace my exhaust, and I chose to do custom exhaust. Yeah, so I want to shoot a drive-by, I think I want to do a drive-by video, cold start, and interior, how it sounds in interior when you drive, and you know, all that basically, and you know, what do I think of it, and should you do it or not. So yeah, that will be my next one. And then after that, yeah, I want to make a video about the cost and how much it actually cost me, this car to date. How much it cost me, you know, all the maintenance, repair costs, all the labor and all that basically. What went wrong on it and how much it cost me to fix it. Yeah, so I think it might have to be 2 videos, because one might be too long. So these are the next probably 2-3 videos I want to make. And yeah, so thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. So please stay tuned and wait for my next video. Thank you.